You can feel the tension in the air, can't you? Wrigley Field. Astros. Cubs. It begins now. Welcome to Game 5 of the 2026 eMLB World Series. Welcome, everybody. A possible end of the season today. Who knows? Houston Astros will try to make it happen as they take a 3-1 lead coming into today's game. The Cubs will hope to send this one back to Houston. All right, Game 5, eMLB World Series. It's been a good one. We've seen a lot of offense come, especially from the Astros on the hitting side. More home runs, though, coming from the side of the Chicago Cubs to this point as we get ready to jump into this one. No more music, go away. All right, we're done with that. As we get ready to start, welcome everybody again. This is Fluffy Kitty Ninjas. I am Commish LB. Everyone calls me Commish. My friends will call me LB. Don't call me things with 4-letter words. Those are reserved elsewhere. So we ask you to be kind, rewind, and above all else, listen to the immortal words of the wildly overpaid wacky duck that we hired for this show.
Watch your language, bud. We're on the air.
Thanks, Daffy. I know you have a contingent of fans who just love hearing you in chat more than hearing me. We'll hope it's a little warmer in Chicago. It was rainy and 40 degrees in Game 4. We'll see if the conditions will improve for Game 5 action today. This is, no matter what, this is the last game at Wrigley Field this season, so let's make it a memorable one. Game 1 action will be, Game 1 action saw the two starters we'll be seeing today. David Elvis taking on Steve Randolph. But David Elvis took on Stephen Randolph. Both guys went 6 innings in that game, but it was a bit of a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde situation. David Elvis looking very much like Dr. Jekyll, pitching very comfortably. And then, of course, for Stephen Randolph, the knuckleballer, the knuckle screwballer, that is. He didn't strike anybody out in 6 1/3. I'm sure he'll like to change that in tonight's action that we will be seeing. So Game 1 went comfortably to the Astros as they won that one 6-1. Game 2 became of real interest as the Cubs were leading it 4-0 going to the bottom of the ninth. 2 2-run homers, one from Seth Beer, one from Yordan Alvarez, tied that game up. It went to extras. The Cubs scored 2 in that inning in the top of the 12th. Astros did score a run, but fell short, losing that one 6-5. So we left Houston with a 1-1 series tie. Game 3, a lot more offense in that one as the Astros win the slugfest 9-7. There were 24 total hits in that game. We had 3 home runs. Matt Chapman had hit his second home run of the series. Grayson Rowan his first. Alejandro P.A. his first. This one looked like the Astros were running away with it. It was 7-0 going into the top of the 5th. And then Daniel Cabrera woke him up. Grand slam home run. And then quickly the Cubs got right back into this one, but falling short as they lost 9-7. Then, of course, yesterday afternoon's game that we watched, it was rainy, it was 40 degrees, it was miserable conditions, but it didn't stop the ball from going all over the place. Matt Chapman, his 3rd home run of the series. Grayson Rowan, his 2nd home run in as many days. Brendan Rodgers went deep to center field twice in that one for the Cubs. Danny White, Jackie Roberts, and the wrecking ball, Danny Smith Jr., all with home runs. So it was a bit of a home run fest in yesterday's contest. Astros prevail in it 11-7. That'll lead us to Game 5 action, which is coming right around the horizon. Astros are trying to end this series in tonight's game Cubs are trying to get us to Houston for game 2. Here we go, gang. Let's get our lineups ready. So, remember, Windy City? Oh, wonderful. The conditions are worse. It's raining, it's 36 degrees, and the wind is blowing in from center field today versus right field. All right, it's going to be that kind of game once again. Let's get back to Wrigley Field. It's another rainy day, wind blowing in. Let's see how that affects everybody. Here we go. Welcome everybody to Wrigley Field. I've got a slightly large graphic I need to tweak and move. There we go. That looks better. Sorry about that, because I haven't used this screen because we've all done everything in After Dark format. It is eMLB welcoming you to Wrigley Field for our final game in Chicago this season, regardless of what happens between the Houston Astros and the Chicago Cubs. Game 5, Houston with a 3-1 lead. They're looking to pop some champagne before the end of today's broadcast. The Cubs trying to keep this alive and get us back to Houston for Game 6, which will be Tuesday night, 7 o'clock, if necessary. Let's look at your defensive alignments in this one. Yep, Angel Hernandez is probably behind the plate, or a well-paid Houston umpire that has a buzzer working just fine, possibly. Here's the defensive alignment for the Cubs in this one. George Costanza is going to make his World Series debut. He'll be in left field in this one with some phenomenal defense. Danny Smith Jr. will be in center, and Daniel Cabrera will be in right field. Kent Herbeck Jr. is your third baseman. Tank Espelin is over at short. Louis Rise gets his first fielding appearance in this series over at second, and Danny White is over at first. Carson Kelly is behind the plate. And a reminder that when you see ratings here, we're using a scaled rating system of 1 to 20, so that'll help you determine who is good at what. On the hill for this one, the 20-year-old from LeSueur, Minnesota, it is Steve Randolph. Rudy, the nickname, Rudy the Knuckle Screwball guy. We created rules to stop people from creating players like this because players like this don't exist. Sorry, Jake. I am going to pick on you for it. I don't think Jake's here anyway, so that's important. I'm stalling a little bit in case Jake could be here. Jake hasn't been feeling good. He was here for yesterday's Game 4. But Game 5 is much less likely, and if so, we're going to manage mode. Anyway, Steven Randolph, he is making his fourth appearance here of the postseason. Fifth appearance, excuse me. He is 1-1 with a 3.80 ERA, 21 1/3 innings of work. He's given up 22 hits, 9 earned runs. He has walked 7, struck out 13. He has allowed 2 home runs in the postseason. In game number 1, he went 6 1/3. He allowed 9 hits, 6 earned runs. He had the 1 home run to Matt Chapman that he allowed. He walked 2, didn't strike anybody out with that eclectic combination of pitches. Former second-round draft pick in 2025 from Minnesota State, drafted by the Cubs. Started this year as the number 8 overall prospect in eMLB. Isla's ready to go. Game number 5 in a rainy, windy city. Cheers, guys. Thank you for your attendance today. Coffee with the commish is underway. It's an 0-1 count. Again, the knuckleballer Randolph will serve and sends that one towards left center field. Danny Smith Jr. moves over with George Costanza right in the neighborhood. Man, Danny Smith Jr. is very blunt there. Would you just shut up? This is my ball. Tells Costanza, out of the way, kid. I think they're the same age. No, actually, Costanza's older, but Danny Smith Jr. is the man out there, makes the catch for the first out. We are officially underway. Bottom of the first here in Chicago at Wrigley Field. Cubs coming to the plate before we do. Alrighty, let's look at your defensive alignment in this one before we continue. Seiya Suzuki will be out in left field today. Sammy Isla is in center, and Kyle Tucker in right field. Matt Chapman over third base. Carlos Correa is your shortstop. Alejandro Pie will be at second base today. And Yordan Alvarez comes back into the infield. He'll play at first base. Grayson Rowan is behind the plate. On the hill, the 21-year-old from Vancouver, Washington, the 6'5" lefty, David Elvis. Elvis, my throat is going to drive me effing nuts here, guys. Elvis is making his fourth appearance of the postseason. He is 2-0 with a 2.55 ERA. Not a walk allowed. That will be a factor, perhaps, in the over-under today. He hasn't walked anybody in 17 2/3. He's given up 16 hits, 5 earned runs. He has struck out 14. He throws upper 90s with a heavy sinker, works a slider, curveball, and a changeup into the mix. Elvis was a second-round draft pick back in 2024 out of the University of Portland. We'll start it off with another community-created player. It's his first real appearance here of this World Series. George Costanza. Can't stand you, Costanza. The 22-year-old from Brooklyn, New York, will check in, making his first appearance of the World Series. 1 for 3 as he played in Game 5 of the clinching NLDS against the Phillies back on October 17th. In that clincher, that was a good one for him. For the regular season, Costanza hit .251, had 2 home runs and 28 RBI. 1 ball, 2 strikes coming from Elvis. He'll do a line shot to center field, and Costanza says hello to the World Series. Sharply slap that ball back up the middle. No chance for Isla to be able to make it on the sinking liner. My wife has just brought me Halls. The 0-2 pitch. There's a shot up the middle. Diving stop from Carlos Correa. I am Groot. Which, if you speak Groot, you know that I just said Carlos Correa just caused a sexy player of the day. Learn to speak Groot, dang it. 1-0 pitch. That one's down. And looking on his way to second was Herbeck, and they didn't get fooled. Wow, what a play in that one. You got to think that one was poorly thought out. Grayson Rowan not fooled at all. Dead to rights, running themselves out of the inning. Ugh. That sucks. That's when I like AI. Ugh. To the second, we're going to go. No score. 1 ball, 2 strikes to PA. The pitch to center field, and Danny Smith Jr. just looks up and knows it's absolutely crushed. Wow, Alejandro PA goes yard. PA with his second home run of the Fall Classic will put the Astros on the board. It is a 1-0 lead. That's his 3rd home run here of the postseason, 2nd of the World Series, and absolutely crushes the knuckleball. He was waiting for it low, and he golfs it deep into center field. So what if there's 11 miles an hour of wind coming in from center? Easy peasy. The 1-1. Well struck to left field, and Matt Chapman has done it again. This one is going to leave Wrigley Field. It's a huge home run for Matt Chapman. Matt Chapman's buzzer is working just fine, everybody. Huge 2-run homer, his 4th of the World Series. MVP, perhaps? Maybe. It's 3-0 Houston. Wow, absolutely crushes the knuckler. And that one's a much better place for it, but man, they're waiting on it. That ball's carrying just fine here on a rainy 36-degree day. And for anybody who's international, that's about 2 degrees Celsius that the weather is, raining with the wind blowing in. So that's a heck of a shot from Matt Chapman. Suzuki 0 for 1, awaiting a 1-0 count. To left center field, very well struck. Going back is Danny Smith Jr., but it is gonna find the bleachers. Home run, Seiya Suzuki. It is Seiya Suzuki's first career World Series home run. It's his 6th round tripper of the postseason. The wind is not playing a factor much here. It's 4-0. Eusebio with his first pitch. And that one's hit towards right field. And just like that, on the very next pitch, it's back-to-back.
Yeah, get up there and wham! A homer! Wham! Another homer! Wham! 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 What?
Buzzers are working just fine here in Houston. That is the 3rd home run of the postseason for Gaetano Tiscarinia. Black Magic strikes for the first time in the World Series. Tiscarinia's nickname, by the way. He got his Black Magic woman as he put that one deep into the night. 5-0 now, Houston. Buzzers are weatherproof, clearly. Not crowning anyone, but I heard the trophy is in the house, just in case. Truth. Are they putting plastic up in the visitors' locking room yet? It's too early for that. First pitch goes after it, and that's going to get in for a base hit. Heading for home is Espelin. He will get in front of the throw. RBI single for Daniel Cabrera, and the Cubs are on the board. It's 5-1. The 0-2. To left center field, Danny Smith Jr. diving stop. What a play from Danny Smith Jr. Wow. Diving attempt to stop extra bases. Gotta think that one is extremely sexy.
I came in like a wrecking ball.
I had to do it at least once this game. Danny Smith Jr. came in like a wrecking ball on that one. No more. No more. No, we will not play that well-known song from Minnie Pearl, where she came in like a wrecking ball. The 1-2 pitch to left field. That'll get down for a hit. It'll find its way to the ivy. Costanza gets it. There'll be a play towards the plate. No, there won't be. 2 runs will score. Screw the animation as Alvarez comes around and scores. And it's now 7-1. 2-run double for Seiya Suzuki with a full count pitch. To center field, pretty well struck. Danny Smith Jr. going back, still going back. Oh, he got lost in the ivy. Andre Dawson must have pulled him in, but it's the 3rd straight game with a home run for Grayson Rowan. Someone do a wellness check. We know the Hawk is hanging in any of the ivy somewhere, and we'll grab fielders and bring them in. Because, you know, he just wants to play cribbage with somebody. It's now 8-1. Oh, just noticed new pitcher. Jose Alvarado comes in. Hammer only goes 3 batters. And the first pitch is into left field for a base hit. Rounding the corner and coming for home is Roberts. He will get in there. RBI single for Daniel Cabrera. It's 8-2. The 2-2. Up the middle. Correa goes to second for 1, but that's all they will get. Meanwhile, the runner will score as DSJ comes in from third. It'll be an Oh. No out at all. Wait a minute. Here I am calling it out. He got in. Infield hit. Couldn't get him even at second. Strike that. It's a base hit for Jackie Roberts. Right? I think he got a base hit. Yep, 1 for 4. Gets the RBI as well. That RBI is his third of this World Series. It's now 8-3. Now 7 hits allowed by Dalbert Siri in under 2 innings. The 2-1 pitch. Grounded to second, to short for 1, over to first in time. And what a time for a double play for the Astros.
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
2 more runners are left aboard, and in the last 5 innings, the Cubs have left 12 runners on base. 9th inning, we will go. It is 8-3 Houston. The 1-2. Called, swung on and missed, strike 3. Ugly at bat from Danny Smith Jr. Feels Machado-esque, to be honest with you. And Godzilla mode will end this World Series as we are done striking out the side. Well, congratulations, Ben Haslam, Houston Astros, his second World Series in the 2.0 era. He was our first world champion in the 2022. So for those who don't know, 2018 and earlier, real life stats. 2019 to 2021, AI stats, CPU. I was just showing this on Twitch. And then it became a GM run league beginning in 22. Ben was our first world champion then. Congratulations to Jake Randolph and his Cubs. Cubs weren't far removed from once picking the 4th overall selection. Some guy named Smith Jr. And here they are getting to game 5 of this World Series. They'll be back. You've got to think. Astros just couldn't stop them. All the offense, all the power. They had 8 home runs coming into this game. You had Pierre, Chapman, Tiscarinia, Suzuki, Rowan, 5 more. 13 total home runs in 5 games for the Astros to win this World Series. The Cubs, what could have been? 18 runners left on base. They only did it to themselves. Let's look at the standouts on this game. The only batter in the Astros not to get a hit was Yordan Alvarez. So again, extra bats on the day. Just Seiya Suzuki, Gaetano Tiscarinia. Suzuki 2 for 4, 3 RBI. He had his first home run. And then Tiscarinia 2 for 4, also with a home run. He had a back-to-back shot off afterwards from Suzuki. 3 walks on the day for Houston, 9 walks for the Cubs. So the Cubs got on base a lot. They couldn't do anything with it. 3 earned runs total is what they got. Outstanding batters on the day. Danny White went 3 for 4. Daniel Cabrera 2 for 5. He had 2 RBI. George Costanza 2 for 6. 14 hits on the day for the Cubs, and not one of the extra base variety. All singles. Gotta think from the get-go. When you had runners at first and third and Kent Herbeck tries to steal a base with 2 outs on, what are you thinking? Made no sense to me. 12 walks feels like the over should get double paid. Well, it just don't work like that, but I see your point. All right. On the day, Zach Birdie earns the win. He finished the 5th as David Elvis and his 5 walks could not get him out of the 5th. Elvis goes 4 innings, 6 hits, 1 earned run. He walked 5 and struck out 2. Zach Birdie allowed 2 walks himself, but he struck out 1 and got through the inning to earn the win. Steve Randolph, 3 innings, 4 hits, 4 earned runs. He didn't walk anyone. He struck out 3, but he left after 45 pitches. So, who's your player of the game? Seiya Suzuki. That makes sense. Champagne is flowing in Houston. Congrats again to Ben Haslam. And also congrats to our National League pennant champion Chicago Cubs. That still is important. All right, we'll leave the game. Grayson Rowan is your 2026 World Series MVP. Rowan went 8 for 24. He had 3 home runs, 8 RBI. I still think Matt Chapman should earn the nod. But nothing wrong with Grayson Rowan. The game's not screwed up when it makes him as the suggested player. Here's where I was trying to go. Here's what I wanted you to see. Here it is. It finally makes itself available. I can officially expand the league and schedule the expansion draft, which means Montreal Expos, Portland Stags. They are officially coming. We got to show this, right? Hold on. Sorry. It's finally here, gang. Woo! 2027 official expansion is now active and functional.